Hey guys, this is Spencer Bonin with SB Mind Body Balance. Just checking in here, just to kind of show you exactly what I was saying in the title is how to take advantage of the emotion code yourself right now, because I'm going to be showing you the main way. I don't necessarily use this, but for when you're just starting out, this is an amazing way to at least be able to start using this. And then I'll show you the other way that I do it as well. So then that way you can start muscle testing yourself and finding these trapped emotions on yourself to can actually be able to work on yourself, which is super cool. So let's get right into it. So the thing that I'm going to be teaching you right now is something called the sway test. So the sway test, what that is basically us as humans, or not even that, just things in general. So let's just say, for example, plants. So when you put a plant near, like in a room, let's say you have a bunch of light at the front of the room and then a completely dark corner. So what, or like a dark side of the room. So what happens is the plant will actually grow towards the light and actually grow away from the darkness. So our bodies, it has this natural ability that or not ability, but tendency to kind of want to sway. So if you stand up, get into like a nice, comfortable, relaxed shoulder width apart, or your feet are shoulder width apart, and you just kind of get like a natural balance there. Your body kind of has a tendency to want to move in either kind of like forward or either kind of backward. So the really cool thing with this sway test is that when you think about something, so let's just try something right now. So if you get up, if you stand up right now, stand up, get into that position, and then all I want you to do is just close your eyes, get into that position, and then think about war and all the negative things that are just not great right now. Like you think about all the effects on COVID-19, you think about war and all the carnage and all the bad stuff involved with all that. What you'll find is your body, because of that, it'll actually be similar to the plant, is it'll start to sway you backwards. So that is kind of showing you that your body is like, whoa, 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 stay away. I don't want to be near that. On the other turn of the thing, if you close your eyes and do the exact same thing and just think of unconditional love, think of all the awesome things that you're grateful and thankful for, just thinking unconditional love and the feeling of unconditional love, what you'll find is your body will actually start to move forward because it wants to go towards the light, so to speak. So that right there is the sway test, and that is a direct communication to your subconscious. You can ask it yes and no questions, and you can follow the flow chart of the emotion code, so you can start doing this stuff on your own. It's amazing. So what I've done is in the description I've posted an emotion, just a Google search for an emotion code chart, so you can get yourself a chart, an emotion code, and then also the emotion code flow chart, so you can know exactly from start to finish how to do this session on your own. This is exactly how it would go. You get into your position of whatever it is, you're standing there, you're just swaying a little bit forward, a little bit backwards, whatever it is, you're just kind of like in limbo. And then what you're going to want to do, oh, one thing I should say is that with this sway test, if you're thinking about love, you sway forward. If you're thinking about hatred and all those negative things, you sway backward. It's the exact same thing with a yes and a no. So a yes, the body is going to naturally want to swing forward. If it's a no, your body is going to naturally want to swing backwards. So that right there is your yes and no responses. And then you can go into the emotion code flow chart. So this is basically how this works. So you have your chart here, whatever it is. It's on the Google thing that I've posted. So first question, if you're curious and you want to know about something, all you say is there a trapped emotion that I can release right now that is contributing to my XYZ problem? So a couple of really good examples would be, is there a trapped emotion that I can release right now contributing to my neck pain? Is there a trapped emotion that I can release right now that is blocking me from making more money? Is there a trapped emotion I can release right now that is blocking me from getting to me to be at my ideal weight? Is there a trapped emotion right now I use this one all the time, or at least I did when I first started doing this work, is there a trapped emotion that I can release right now that's contributing to my bad mood right now? I would use this all the time on a nonstop basis. I'd remove myself, I'd sit there, I'd figure it out, I'd release these trapped emotions, and boom, my day would immediately get better. So that's step number one. So you do the sway test, you say either one of those questions. If you get a yes response, what happens is you go to your chart and then you start looking for the emotion. Super simple. So you started off with saying, is the emotion in column A or is it in column B? Because if you'll notice on the chart, you have column A and column B. So once you figure out whether it's in column A or column B, boom, it automatically wipes out 30 of those emotions. You've cut it in half. So next step is it in one of the odd rows? So there's 6 rows. So you're basically asking, is it in row 1, 3, or 5? If you get a yes or a no. If you get a yes, then it's in one of those rows, and then you can find a row. If it's not, then you ask, is it in an even row? And if it is it's going to be in 2, 4, or 6. So what you do is you narrow it down until you get a cell of that chart. Once you get a cell, all you have to do is basically go through the list of the emotions. So let's just pretend that you were in A4, like I have in the description. So A4, you'll see on here, it has anger, bitterness, guilt, hatred, and resentment. So those are the 5 emotions. So what happens is you're doing this sway test, you're doing it, you've got yourself here, and you say, is this trapped emotion that I can release right now? Is it anger? And then you get a response. If it's a no, you go to the next one. Is it bitterness? If it's a no, you go to the next one. Is it guilt? You go to the next one, and you just basically keep going until you hit the end of the list of the 5 different emotions. You'll eventually find one emotion. Once you find that emotion, you say, awesome, that's great, I found an emotion. So then what you do is you can either take a magnet. You can really take any magnet you want. It can be like a little dinky fridge magnet. It can be one of those, the fridge magnets that you get from your plumber. You'll thank your plumber because you'll have an amazing magnet that you can use to release trapped emotions for yourself. But you can take that, or you can actually just even use your hand. If any of you guys saw my previous one, but basically you take your hand once you find that emotion, and you just take your fingers and go along this governing meridian about 3 times. Sometimes I like to do 4 or 5 just for the road, I guess. But then once you do that, you hold the intention to release that trapped emotion, and then boom, once you swipe 3 or 4 times, ask yourself the question with the sway test again, did I release that trapped emotion? And then you should get a yes response. Your body will start to move forward. And that's basically it. That right there is the emotion code, and it's amazing. The only other thing with this particular thing is that sometimes when you get to yourself into a column in a row, you get yourself into a cell of 5 emotions, you might get some weird responses, like all of them will say yes, or all of them will say no, or 3 of them will say yes and 2 of them will say no. You'll gotta get some weird wonky responses. When that happens, all you have to do is ask, is this trapped emotion inherited? Because the body wants to give you some sort of sign that this isn't just a regular old trapped emotion. It wants you to know that it's inherited, because it's so important. So if you've seen any of my videos before, I talk about the importance of inherited emotions. But if you're getting weird responses, basically ask, is this a trapped emotion, or is this an inherited trapped emotion? And then your body should sway forward. And if it does, then basically what you want to do is you want to find out as much as you can about that inherited trapped emotion. So first and foremost, you want to find out who you got it from, whether it's mom or dad. You want to find out how many generations it goes back. And then you want to find out, does it go back 5 generations? Does it go back does it go back more than 5 generations, less than 5 generations? Is it 1 generation, 2 generations, 3 generations, 10 generations, 20 generations, whatever it is? Sorry, give me a sec here, guys. Sorry about that. So yeah, so basically you find out how many generations it goes back. Once you find out how many generations it goes back, what you want to do is you find the genealogy of everyone. So you want to go back all the way. So if it's 5 generations, you want to find out, was it your mom's mom? Was it her dad? Was it his dad? And go back all the way until you find the very first person where it began. And then once you find that out, you ask, do I need to know more about this trapped emotion? The significance of this is, and the reason why it's so important is because these inherited trapped emotions are not just for you, because they're a shared trapped emotion. Because if you've inherited this from your mom, if they've inherited this from their dad, and then it keeps going on and on and on and on, you actually simultaneously release that trapped emotion from you as well as everyone else in that line. So you're helping, and believe it or not, even the people who have passed on, or if you have kids and you decided to do this, it actually releases it from your kids if you've passed it down. Super, super powerful stuff. So that right there is how you do it. So once you find, once you ask if you find the genealogy and everything like that, well, first and foremost, you want to find out what the emotion is. So once you've asked the question, is it an inherited trapped emotion? You go through the same 5 things again, except you just say, is this an inherited anger? Is this an inherited bitterness? Is this an inherited guilt? Once your body gives a yes response, then you find out all that stuff. And then once you don't need to know anymore, then same thing. You take your hand or a magnet or whatever it is, and then you want to go over this governing meridian, but because you're releasing it from everyone, it's going to want you to do at least 10 swipes. So, oh no, so much more work. Crazy, 10 swipes. But you go, basically you just do 10 swipes, and then once that's done, ask the question again, did I release that inherited trapped emotion? If it's a strong yes, boom, go to the next emotion, and then, ask the question, is there an emotion that I can release right now? If you can't, no problem. If you can, great. Just keep digging and digging and digging and digging and digging and digging. If it's a physical problem, you'll notice pretty crazy, drastic results sometimes. I mean, earlier today, I was doing a treatment for my mom. Her hip was about a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10 on the pain scale. After doing this treatment, it went down from a 7 down to about a 1. So if you have challenges and you have different things that you're scared about, you have lack of self-confidence, you have anxiety, you have physical pain, chronic pain, whatever it is, you can utilize this tool whenever you want. Now, the other method that I was going to talk about is the ring in ring method. So there's the sway test, which we talked about at the beginning, but the other one is the ring in ring method. So what you want to do, you can either use these fingers or these fingers, but basically you take these 2 fingers, you put them together, kind of link them like that, and then you want to just keep the pressure so light so that it's almost like when you pull them apart, if it's a yes response, the fingers just kind of stick, and if it's a no response, the fingers just kind of slide off. So it takes a lot of practice and it takes some getting used to, but the more you practice it, this is such an awesome tool. You can get a yes and you can get a no response. It's just going to make those responses so much faster. So then you don't have to stand there and, do the forward and the back. That is an absolutely reliable way of doing it. But this way too is very reliable once you get used to it, and it can speed up the process tremendously. So anyways, guys, that is how you can utilize the sway test or the ring in ring method to perform emotion code treatments on yourself and release this trapped emotion or this trapped emotional baggage from yourself. Now, what I'm going to be doing, I've already announced that I'm going to be doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, free treatments for certain people. So physical pain, high anxiety, high stress levels, if you have really high social anxiety, or if anything like that, I would absolutely love to help with that. Now, what I also did is I started myself a YouTube channel just to kind of throw all this stuff on there as well. So with all that, I put my YouTube and all that, and all my different channels, my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to subscribe and all that, I'm actually doing a special right now where if you decide to subscribe and follow all my channels. If you can send me an email to the email that I put in the description with proof of your subscription, what I'll do is I'll do a free remote session for you on anything of your choosing, any one thing of your choosing. And with that, basically all you'll have to do is send me an email with what you want to work on, what your age is, say that I have your permission to do so, and then I'll do a remote session for you after that. So anyone who decides to do that, I would absolutely love it, and I can't wait to start sharing the word and spreading this like wildfire, because it is absolutely amazing. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and have yourselves a wonderful night.